Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about our personal best and worst comic book movies in lieu of Civil War and Batman v Superman coming out this year, which we are both hyped for. This is the Scotty and Pete Content Eventually podcast, episode 2.
All right, so I guess to start it off, and I kind of want to exclude Spider-Man 3 because that's everyone's go-to.
You can't exclude Spider-Man 3 though, because that movie was irreplaceably
I
terrible.
feel like it's a given though that it was
I
horrible.
don't know. There's a few.
But anyways, let's start off with your in no specific order. What is a comic book movie that you absolutely just despise?
Despise with all my heart and soul.
Despise.
Honestly, we're not counting Spider-Man 3.
Well, I mean, you could if you really want to, but I really feel like that movie's been picked apart so many times over the years
Because it was so bad.
It's a given.
I mean, if I'm being totally honest, I wasn't a fan of the entire franchise. Like, I liked them as a kid.
Neither was I.
Because it was just like, oh, hey, cool, Spider-Man doing Spider-Man stuff. Something. But now that I'm watching it as more of an analytical adult, it's just a lot of the elements in all three of the movies were just crap. But a superhero movie that I don't understand why they made was, and honestly, I think I even hated it since I was a kid, was Batman and Robin.
Now, this is the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes, as Mr. Freeze for some reason.
I actually kind of like that movie because of how bad it is.
No, it's fun to pick apart. Like, it's fun to make fun of it. Like, it's so bad that you can't help but enjoy the badness. But I could go on for the entire length of this episode to as to why that movie sucks. I can sum it all up with bat nipples, bat credit card, bat skates.
That to me that's too funny. That's to the point where I think they knew it was comical, like the Adam West Batman. Now, I'm not saying it was a good movie, but I'm saying if you put it on, you said, "Hey, let's watch this." I'd most likely say,
"Oh, I would sit down and watch it." Like I said, just to laugh at how stupid it is. But like, I don't know. There was just a lot of stuff about it that just downright pissed me off, and that had a lot to do with it. But if I had to pick more of a movie that took itself seriously that I didn't like, it was probably X-Men Origins.
Oh man,
the Wolverine one. Yeah. The one that has been wiped from the collective memories of all comic fans everywhere. Because that was just an atrocious thing. Not even for the whole Deadpool side of it, but just in general.
That movie was just a huge cliche. The entire thing. It was horrible. We had already had enough of Wolverine at this point, so for them to just kind of throw out
it felt like a hey, we made this movie just because we could, like. Here you go.
Yeah. I mean,
the problem was when I first saw it, I thought it was awesome because I had literally I was just getting into comics. 2, like more seriously. And I had just finished reading Wolverine's origin. So I'm like, oh man, now they're making a movie out of it. I hope they have when he's, young in Canada and blah, blah, blah. And they did, and I thought that part was pretty cool. But then as I got over the hype of the comic and I saw the movie for what it was, I'm like, yeah, this is insignificantly bad.
Well, I guess you could say the only redeeming quality about it was that I guess Ryan Reynolds was cast as Deadpool permanently from there on until now.
Yeah.
Because it was really that movie that people wanted redemption for the character and they got it.
It's almost like it helped out. It almost helped make Deadpool become the movie that it is now. And yeah, I guess we could look at it as a blessing in disguise. Like, hey, sure, the movie was terrible, but we saved the most likable character in the whole show, or not the show, the whole movie.
I think for me, if we're starting off the bat here, starting deep down, I think I'm gonna go with Daredevil.
Oh man, I forgot about Daredevil.
And it has your boy Ben Affleck in it, who's playing Batman.
Yep.
Now he's playing Batman.
Another 360. Oh no, another 180.
So we'll see how he does though. I think he'll do good. I think he'll do, because again, Batman isn't hard to play, but
no, he's not by any means. But
Daredevil was a horrible movie, horrible casting.
Yeah,
and then they went and made the Elektra movie
for some reason,
which was a piece of crap.
Yeah, it's like, hey, have Elektra fight this tattoo guy who can make his tattoos come to life, or some other girl who we don't know, and how she's mentoring this other girl that we don't know or care about.
But yeah, for me, I mean, the whole what was it? It was like a fight scene on the sidewalk. They're fighting up a bench and playground.
In Daredevil?
Yeah.
Yeah, they fight in a playground.
Yeah, that was...
And it was the most awkward back and forth, like, ever. Like, if it would not have been two attractive people with quote-unquote superpowers, or, you know, two people with two superheroes, it would have just been the most awkward thing to just witness on the side of the street. You go, you sure you're blind? You don't want me to tell you... You sure you don't want me to... You sure you don't want to tell me your name? They're fighting on seesaws and stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we're supposed to take this seriously.
It was beyond even, you know, watching it. You know how when you first watch a movie you're so hyped to watch.
Yeah, of course.
Everything is... You
kind of ignore everything at first, and then you watch it again, and you're just, oh god, like, why did I...
But even the first time watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, is this okay to like? This is really stupid.
I want to know whose choice it was to have Evanescence play in a superhero movie.
Again, the only redeeming quality from the movie was that song. That was a...
But at the same time, the way that whole thing was shot, it was just like what every tween goes through whenever, you know, they get turned down by some guy or some girl, and that's what you saw in the movie is what goes on in their heads. Like, oh, I wish I was just on a rooftop and it was raining, and I'm gonna play this music that stares into my soul and the blackness, and cutting up sandbags with size and using sticks to hit stuff, and like, get in my feels, Daredevil. You can do it.
Yeah, that was idiotic. But all right, so in no specific order, those are two movies we despise, comic book movies we despise. So what's a comic book movie that you love, but it's not your favorite?
It's not my favorite, but I love it.
Yeah. Save your absolute favorite for the last.
That's hard. That's really hard.
And again, these span across DC, Marvel, even any other sort of...
any other realm.
Yeah.
Oh, God. One that I like, but it's not my favorite. Can it be tied for my favorite?
Yeah, I guess that's okay.
That's fair?
All right. That's fair.
I would say, to date, one of the best superhero movies ever made. One of the best, honestly, just... political thrillers and just, you know, action movie, sci-fi action movies out there, and you know, you already know where I'm going with this.
Oh yeah, I do.
Is the second Captain America.
Captain America,
the Winter Soldier was a masterpiece. It was so good from beginning to end. It got the action going right away. It kept you into it the entire time. The mystery behind the whole thing was amazing. The way everything was shot. Chris Evans did a really good job carrying the movie. You know, because he sort of more or less carried the first one. There was a lot of stuff with the Red Skull too. But on top of that, it was such a pivotal moment in the MCU. It was such a pivotal moment in that whole series. Everything was different from then on. You know.
Yeah, it changed the whole format up, which again I applaud Marvel for doing, because again they could have just continued along the same sort of pattern that anyone would think they would, you know, continue on. But then they just flipped it all over the course of one movie.
Let's dismantle... First of all, let's have Hydra not be gone and have it be this giant powerhouse of an organization that it is in the comics. And let's just take the angle that we took with it and have them be... Have it so that you don't know who you can trust in the only organization that Cap really knows. You know, the only people that he could have trusted. And it's a lot of secrecy, and it's a lot of, you know, underhanded stuff, and it was just... It was cool. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, not to mention, the Winter Soldier was exactly the way I wanted him to be in the movie.
Can we talk about that knife fight on the bridge?
Let's give a solid 30 seconds to that knife fight.
To that knife fight, real quick.
In one word, describe to me that action sequence.
One word?
One word.
Gritty.
I like that.
It was really gritty because it wasn't, you know, something with this swell of music and, you know, high flying Iron Man stuff. It was really just a brutal fist fight between Captain America, who so far in the movies has been unbeatable as far as hand to hand combat, having this guy not only keep up with him but, you know, give him the boot a couple times. It was just cool because it was literally just kind of like remember how the Joker's theme was in Dark Knight the Dark Knight like.
Yeah,
it was sort of like that rising sort of sound.
I was just gonna say what I loved about them, that,
and then all you hear is the punching and the you know, the metal of the blade swiping and all that kind of stuff, and the arm whizzing and all this kind of cool stuff. And then you lead it to one of the sickest reveals, you know, you could, having it be this guy Bucky.
Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Captain America: Winter
Too late.
Soldier, I don't know why you wouldn't have seen it by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say one of the things I loved about that scene was the music as well, because you knew it was building to something, and even for us, we knew who he was.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you still had that
crap moment. Yeah. And on top of that, you had his boys doing work, but then the fact that he's taking on Falcon, Cap, and Black Widow at the same time, like this guy's nothing to laugh at. He's nothing to laugh at, and it was just cool the way the whole thing was shot. Like, it was shot within a square block, I would say. The whole scene took place.
It felt like a video game almost,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it was video game like, but that same sort of excitement and enjoyment you have playing in a game, that's what it felt like. I immediately wanted to just
it was cool.
I
think another scene that I really liked in that movie, I would say probably my second favorite scene, is with Nick Fury in the car. When all the agents are attacking him, and he's just like on his own fending him off. I'm like, finally we get to see Nick Fury.
And then the Winter Soldier steps out in front and just
he's like, yep, you had a good ride, but now I'm gonna blow the bottom of your car up.
Yeah, that was such I can watch that at any given moment. I can see that. For me,
I'm like, oh jeez, it's getting real.
For me, one not my favorite comic book movie, but absolutely it's high up there for me, would be the very first Iron Man movie.
Yes. I mean, given the technology that they had at the time and the envelopes that they were pushing, for its time, it was really good. Obviously, we can't compare it to, like, Age of Ultron or Batman, Superman, or whatever. But, yeah, for what it was at the time, and even now, as, it kicked off everything that we know, it was beautifully done.
Yeah, for me, it was, I really feel the success of this movie was riding on Robert Downey Jr. If it wasn't Robert Downey Jr., this could have fell flat.
Oh yeah, flat on its face. Like, it's not even funny how bad it could have been. But he saved it.
Yeah, and it really gave Marvel the momentum that I'm assuming they needed to continue down this MCU.
And because it was done so well, and because the CGI was so good and the special effects were so good, the tease at the end of it, sort of like the rest was history after that.
Oh yeah,
because that's what got everybody into. Let's wait after the credits. No one ever did that before, and it was like, okay, we gotta see who's getting recruited now. We gotta see who Nick Fury's coming to talk to. And blah, 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 blah.
Marvel is single-handedly the reason that all these other shows, movies, comics, games, whatever you call it, are doing these crossovers. If you've noticed, there's a crossover in everything now. There's going to be a 22 Jump Street Men in Black crossover.
I heard about it. I saw an article on that.
It's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, but
I would see it.
Everyone's after this crossover Marvel, style that's going on, and it works.
It works.
It absolutely works. So, Iron Man being one of my absolute favorites. Again, going back to you said Batman and Robin as one of your worst. You said one of your favorites, Winter Soldier. So what's another one that just was craptastic for you?
What was craptacular?
A crap bonanza.
Crap bonanza.
I can't think of any more.
Crapalicious. Crapatocious. But anyways.
Yeah.
Oh God. A bad. I mean, there's so many. I can't say Spider-Man 3.
I wouldn't say Spider-Man 3 because I didn't, and I feel like you're the same way. We didn't really enjoy that trilogy to begin with.
I didn't. No, I really didn't.
I can't say I was disappointed by Spider-Man 3 as much because I wasn't expecting it to be something great.
Oh, I got it. One I really didn't like was Superman Returns.
Oh,
Brandon Routh. Yep.
That's a slap in your face.
That's a slap in my face.
That's a slap
personally,
in your face.
Yes. Like, DC was like, hey, you like Superman? Ha! You know who they were originally going to cast as Superman in that movie?
That wasn't the Nicolas Cage thing, was it?
No. I'll give you 3 guesses as to who they were going to cast as Superman before they landed on Brandon Routh, of all people.
Are they well-known actors?
Oh, yeah. The guy who they were going to pick is a very well-known actor.
Give me a small hint here.
A small hint? Oh, man. He has not been in any other mainstream superhero movie.
Mainstream. I'm just gonna go with Tom Cruise.
No.
He's
been in sci-fi movies. He just hasn't been in like a superhero movie.
Man, you're getting me with this.
As far as I know.
If anyone can figure this out before I do, you can immediately replace me on the channel.
I'm about to tell you.
Just kidding. I don't. Who is it?
You don't know? Believe it or not, to play as Superman, the Man of Steel, they were gonna go with Will Smith. Let that chew on that for a second.
If you could see my reaction right now, it's a very bitter reaction.
It's very stunned and very like
Will Smith.
Will Smith was gonna be Superman almost. So you got Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. I respect Kevin Spacey, but he's not Lex Luthor.
Oh, I love Kevin Spacey, but there was nothing about that movie I liked. No. There was not one thing.
You got I forget her name. Literally, that's her name. Her name is I forget her name, as Lois Lane. You got Cyclops as Lois Lane's love interest.
Oh, James Marsden was in that movie?
No, Cyclops was in that movie because he was Cyclops.
Oh, okay. I don't even remember that movie. Well,
because how he played Cyclops was exactly how he played this random ass guy.
Was this not Superman Returns? Was it not a continuation from the Christopher Reeve Superman?
Yes, it was actually.
So
because
in
Superman, because in Quest for Peace, he leaves.
Yeah.
He goes, my people need me, so he leaves, and then this movie's supposed to be when he comes back, like 5 years later.
So he would have came back as Will Smith.
Apparently,
that would have.
He would have gotten a serious tan, and also a deep voice and giant lips, but. Hey,
I love Will Smith.
Oh yeah, Will Smith is awesome.
Will Smith. He's going to be Deadshot in the upcoming Suicide Squad, which I'm pretty stoked.
I'm on the fence about that, but that's a whole nother thing.
But,
oh yeah, by the way, yeah, that's another superhero movie coming out this year, and Doctor Strange, I think.
True.
Right? So we got 4 superhero movies coming out this year. Pretty stoked.
Yeah, Superman Returns. That's a good one. That's a good call there. I think for me, if I had to go down and pick another one. And you're going to get upset. I
already know what you're going to say, then.
But...
Wait, well, maybe. I don't know.
For me... Now, I'm not saying this movie was terrible, but I just didn't like it. Was the first Captain America.
First Avenger?
Yeah.
There were parts in it that I liked. There were lines and scenes in it that I liked, but...
Yeah.
Continue.
It's... I didn't hate it. I wouldn't compare it to Daredevil, obviously, because it wasn't a horrible movie. It's a necessary movie in the Marvel Universe.
People were waiting for it, though.
But
especially after Iron Man 2.
Yeah, when you compare it to the other Marvel movies, it just felt like I don't know. I couldn't really put my finger on it. Again, I love Hugo Weaving as the villain, as Red Skull.
Oh yeah.
But there was just something I couldn't. I think it was just really dull for me at times. The action wasn't on par with the other Marvel movies because you had, the set pieces and, say what you want about Iron Man 2, but it had some pretty decent action set pieces.
Bro, that last scene in Iron Man 2 when it's him and War Machine fighting the robots in the atrium.
Even Thor, when he's fighting Loki at the end, or when he's fighting the Frost Giants.
Yeah,
that was awesome. I just didn't feel like it stood up to the other Marvel movies. Again, I didn't hate it.
I think it was just meant to set stuff up. Like, it was meant to just...
Yeah.
Hey, here's Cap. Here's what he did. Here's who he liked. Here's who he killed. Here's who he saved.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be in the Avengers. So.
But, they went on to make The Winter Soldier, which is, to most people, is the #1 Marvel
To me, it still is. It's better than I liked it more than Age of Ultron. I liked it more than Guardians. I liked it more than I want to say that I liked it more than the first Avengers, but the problem with the first Avengers is there was so much build up to it that it was just a spectacle in and of itself. That this is the first time ever that we've had, a team of this magnitude all on screen at the same time.
And it had to work. Avengers had to work.
Oh yeah, but the problem, not the problem, but the good thing was that they were set up to succeed. There was no way that it could not have worked.
Yeah.
They'd have to really screw it up for it to not have worked.
So yeah, for me, I would definitely go with the first Avenger, even though Civil War is going to be huge.
Oh yeah, Civil War is
going to be huge, and I believe I heard it's the longest running Marvel movie to date. It's going to have the longest running time of any Marvel movie.
It should. It would need to because of everything that's going on in it.
Which, by the way, they're having a Captain America marathon that leads up to Civil War.
What do you mean, like all the Marvel movies?
You have First Avenger, you have Winter Soldier. You have First Avenger, The Avengers, Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, and then Civil War.
Okay. See, that I can do. That I can do.
Yeah.
I couldn't do or I wanted to do it. I would have tried to do it. But the marathon that led up to Age of Ultron, it was like every MCU movie.
You know, I'll consider doing something like that if you were down to do it with me. It really depends.
I would do it in the comfort of my own home. I wouldn't go to a movie theater and do that.
That's true.
That way you can just skip the bad ones. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, cool. I can skip this, that, and the other.
But yeah, they're doing that
cool.
that Captain America marathon, which is, you know, you guys, if you're interested, check it out. So that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing an episode on that too, talking about kind of like how we did with Batman Superman. But we're gonna be talking about Civil War. So.
That doesn't come out till May, so
yeah, we got time.
We'll discuss that later.
And we'll be declaring our sides
Woo!
in that video as well. Who we side with afterwards.
And you know it's not the same. We're not on the same side.
Nope.
We're never on the same side.
Nope.
But yeah, so that was a down point for me. Going back to you, what's another one of your favorites?
But not my all-time favorite?
But not your all-time favorite.
Oh man. I don't know if I would classify this one as a good one, but it's definitely a guilty pleasure movie.
Okay.
And I think it's just because of my violent bias that I'm known for. But I did not hate X-Men 2.
You know, up until Days of Future Past, that was my favorite X-Men. Because of the Nightcrawler scene.
The Nightcrawler scene, I think, is one of the best action scenes in any X-Men movie.
One of the best superhero action scenes.
Yeah,
period.
Like the fact that this dude is just going ham on the Secret Service, it was just shot well. The music was well. The music was done right. The actor was pretty good. I didn't like how Nightcrawler looked in that movie, but that's whatever.
Well, I wasn't a big fan of who played him either.
Yeah.
I think it was Alan Cumming.
You did?
Yeah.
Really?
Which, I have nothing against Alan Cumming, but I kind of wanted someone a little more, maybe younger. Too.
Yeah, I would have gone with a younger, and honestly, someone a little slimmer.
Yeah.
Just kind of fat. But anyways, that's irrelevant. But yeah, that scene was done really well. I still, to this day, go back and watch the Wolverine Deathstrike fight.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't that long, and it wasn't that, like, crazy over the top, but just the way everything was shot. You know, the music. The music, to me, is what did it. And just the sound effects and just the sounds of, like,
cracking her knuckles.
Yeah, like the old crap moment when he has her, like, double impaled, and she just looks at him like, yeah, okay, cool.
And she just
That's
puts her hands on his...
Yeah, she sort of just, like, pulls herself off of him and just kicks him in the face, or whatever. Kicks him in the face. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't a long fight, but it was a good one. Stryker as a villain is just cool. Oh, that reminds me too. The scene in the mansion when the military invades, Wolverine, that was cool. Wolverine just going ham on people. Off. The only thing about that scene that upset me, and I couldn't forgive it, but again, it's my childish. I want to see it. That kind of made me not like that scene. Was they missed out on the biggest opportunity that they could have had, which would have been Wolverine and Colossus teaming up to fight these guys.
Well, let me tell you this. To me, and I'm pretty sure I've told you this before. Every movie, regardless of whether it is horrible or amazing, has what I like to call $1 million scene.
Oh, yeah.
To me, the $1 million scene in X-Men 2 was when they raid the mansion.
And he jumps off the balcony?
That was good. But my scene is when they come, where Colossus steps through the wall and they're shooting at him.
Oh,
and
he metals up.
He
and
bulks
just looks
up.
At him like,
they go flying through. That was the $1 million scene for me.
I don't know if that'd be the $1 million scene for me. I think for me the $1 million scene would probably be. I'm trying to think. Honestly it'd probably be the Wolverine Deathstrike fight for me. At least for me personally.
I like to pick the smaller scenes, as a
because when I watch that movie, I revert back to the age I was when I saw it.
Oh yeah, I was young when I saw that.
Like honestly, what's the big deal of Wolverine jumping off a balcony and shanking two guys and then just let's go?
Yeah.
When you saw that as a kid, that blew your mind.
It blew you away.
It blew you away. So I'm like, yes, this needs to be a thing always.
That's gonna be a thing from now on. $1 million scenes
in movies.
Scott and Petey's
$1 million scenes for superhero.
Scotty
movies.
and Pete's $1 million scenes just in general for any movie.
All right, cool.
That's gonna be a thing from now on. If you're listening to this podcast, you just listen to the origin
of the $1 million scene segment.
Scotty and Pete's $1 million scene segments. But yeah, X-Men 2. I loved X-Men 2. To me, I wasn't crazy about the whole the story. Well, towards the end, I wasn't liking where it was going. just because.
Yeah, like I didn't like that Jean died.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
Again, for me, that was a horrific. I left the theater feeling so bitter and
I'm like, oh man, it could have been so cool. I mean, they went down the whole Weapon X path, which is safe, but at the same time, you got to make it entertaining.
Yeah,
you know, because you introduce a villain like William Stryker, awesome villain, really cool villain, and you got to be careful with where you go with it. You got to be careful with the. You know, you don't want to get too political, or you don't want to get too actiony. You want to find that little sweet spot, which honestly I think they missed, but. Like I said, there was a lot of fun moments in it. A lot of good times. It was definitely better than the first one. Definitely better than the third one. And obviously, we're not going to count First Class and Days of Future Past just because separate cast and all that. But it was cool seeing a young Hugh Jackman. It was cool seeing, all, just the entire cast together. Like when they're in the house, and the cops show up, and Pyro's just all like,
put one in Wolverine's face.
Yeah, he's put one in his face, and he's just like, yeah, no, I'm good. We good, fam.
Yeah, that was good.
There's a few elements of those movies in general that I don't like, if I'm being honest.
To me, there was more bad ones than good ones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was. But, like I said, there were some casting choices I disagreed with. But that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other segment.
That's a whole other... We could do a whole X-Men video on that.
And
whole X-Men podcast.
I'll be the flipping guru on that because you know me with the X-Men, bro. That's my favorite. I'm a DC guy, but favorite superhero team, hands down, is the X-Men. For various reasons that I'll get into probably in another episode, but yeah, X-Men 2 definitely, by traditional standards, is not that great, but as a fan, I just like it. I can watch out of all the X-Men, out of all the of that cast of X-Men movies, that's the one I can just go watch back over and over and over again.
Oh yeah,
again, they didn't do my boy any justice. They had him mind controlled, and he got his freaking butt kicked. Cyclops, for those of you who.
Just joining us.
Yeah.
I think for me, I loved X-Men 2. For me, another good one was, and this is pretty cliche, but and I'm gonna keep it brief, was The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, for obvious reasons.
Believe it or not, I don't like Christian Bale as Batman. I was not crazy about Christian
agree
Bale
with that.
Batman.
I can agree with that to a degree.
It was almost silly.
Hold on. You don't like him as Batman, or you don't like him as Bruce Wayne?
Well, Bruce Wayne to me is just such a simple character.
Yeah,
I feel like I could play Bruce Wayne. He's just Bruce Wayne.
Oh, hey everybody!
But I wasn't too crazy about the suit, and I wasn't crazy of the Batman voice. Well, that to me just
see, that's the thing that I've always been at odds with myself with, is the voice, because he does that in the comics. He deepens his voice. Yeah. If you go read the volume 1 of the New 52 Justice League, Green Lantern actually makes fun of him for it, just as an example.
Yeah.
So that's actually a thing. The delivery could have been a little bit better.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have a British. He's British, Christian Bale.
Yeah. No, he's isn't he Australian?
I think he's British.
I don't know.
Well, either way, you have him portraying an American screaming in a husky voice, which is
swear to me.
But obviously, for the obvious reasons,
Begins, but
I love the movie because of Heath Ledger and the Joker.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, this has been talked about to death, so obviously I'm not going to go on about it. But that's what I really enjoyed, And you can go back and watch that movie and again, that's a movie I can go back and watch almost immediately, anytime.
He is British.
All right, so he is British.
I stand corrected. Thank you, IMDb.
But
he is British.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I didn't like Batman Begins very much, and I didn't like The Dark Knight Rises because of all the loopholes and how they misused Bane.
Yeah. I mean, I like the effort. You get an A for effort with The Dark Knight Rises, but honestly, if I'm being real, my biggest thing with the Batman movies was the action, and not in the sense that the action sucked, but it was mostly just it was way too choreographed. It was way too like, okay, punch, pirouette, parry his punch, throw him into the other guy, raise your arm up real stiff and slam it down. It's like, you look at that, you look at all three of those movies, excluding the club scene from The Dark Knight, because I think that was done pretty well, because it was fast paced and it was sort of like a bunch of commotion. You compare all the actions from those movies to the bit that we saw in the trailer for Batman v Superman, and you can see the huge difference between the two.
I mean, video games have better action sequences than, most of the
more liberty
Dark Knight movies.
Yeah.
But even the Arkham games, that's how Batman should fight. But again, I love it for Heath Ledger. He was a fantastic actor, and he really dug into the character of the Joker, which it isn't easy for anyone.
And he's proof that just because someone is cast as a character that you may not necessarily agree with, don't immediately write him off.
I'll admit, I complained.
He caught heat for days. Oh yeah, the gay guy from Brokeback Mountain and the dude from Knight's Tale and flipping the pothead from Lords of Dogtown is playing the Joker. Like, come on. But then look.
Yeah, I'll admit I complained a lot too, but yeah, that would be my pick. So
that's fair pick.
Going back to you, a comic book movie that again you despise.
Oh man, I'm trying to think. Like I said, there's a few. Oh, I got one. The Hulk, not the Incredible Hulk.
The Eric Bana.
The Eric Bana Hulk. It wasn't even the Hulk. It was just Hulk.
He looked awful. And even for the time it was, the Hulk looked awful.
Oh yeah, he was too puffy and he was too like.
He's a weird shade of green.
Yeah, and he emoted too much and he was just, I don't know. It's just the way it was shot. They tried to make it feel like, because I used to watch all the bonus features when I was a kid.
Yeah, I still do that.
And it was just like, oh okay, well we tried to make this feel like comic book panels. I'm like, yeah, but you botched it. Like it's just like some hodgepodge of whatever. And Nick Nolte's the bad guy and Thunder Ross still needs to calm the heck down about him. And the story was flat. The characters were flat. The execution was flat. I can't even think of a redeeming scene in that movie, other than maybe the Gamma Dog fight. But even then, it was okay, how did you possibly do this without anything happening?
I'm being real. I saw it once, and that was more than enough. So
I saw it a few times. If I'm being real, I saw it a few times just because it was one of the only movies I had when I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't even remember the movie at all.
There was maybe one scene when, like I said, the scene where he fights the dog. But even then, it was too dark to see anything going on. The idea of Gamma Dogs was just too random to throw into a movie like that. And then you look at the subsequent movie with Ed Norton, The Incredible Hulk, which was actually a legitimate part of the MCU, which a lot of people forget about that one. It was a real part of the MCU, and that one was done really well. They had a solid villain, a believable villain. I'm a little disappointed they didn't go forward with it with the leader, like they teased towards the end, or kind of towards the end. But that's all right with me. It was still really good. I enjoyed it. But yeah, the Hulk, or just Hulk, was easily and probably readily forgettable.
I'm gonna agree. And I think for my pick, I'm gonna go with another green character.
Oh god!
I know you're thinking of this one too.
I'm so ashamed of myself for this movie.
I feel like I can't give a fair judgment because I'll be honest with you, I didn't finish watching it. Was the Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
I got about halfway into it and I couldn't finish it.
I don't blame you. Again, that was one of those movies where I had the same situation with that one that I had with X-Men Origins. I had just finished reading Green Lantern, just when I was getting into comics. He was one of the first heroes I sort of dug into. And I fell in love with the character. Green Lantern is a really cool character. His whole, mythos is really cool. All of his characters and everything, all the different, little things about him and the expanded universe of just the Green Lantern by himself was really, really cool. And then boom, 2 weeks later, hey, there's a Green Lantern movie coming out. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, this is going to be awesome. Because we barely saw the trailer. And the trailer didn't show any of the bad stuff. It only showed the good stuff. So I'm like, cool, I'm going to check this movie out. And I saw it, and I tried so hard. To like it. I tried so hard. I'm like, it's okay. Yeah, that was stupid, but it's okay. I mean, and then it got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I don't have the energy. I don't have the patience. This movie was crap. And I'm just going to let it be what it was. To me, the only redeeming parts about that movie were, believe it or not, the individual performances.
Mark Strong
and Sinestro took the cake. If they ever make another movie with Sinestro in it, they need to pick that guy again. I really liked Jeffrey Rush as... oh, God, what was his name? Oh, God, I forget his name. But anyways, the one with the beak. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That was Jeffrey Rush. Michael Clark Duncan as Kilowog. Awesome choice for Kilowog. Michael Clark, we miss you. We wish you could come back and do more movies. Tom Array, that was his name. The first Green Lantern. I really enjoyed to me, the only redeeming scene in the movie was when they were training. I thought that was pretty cool. Where he was just sort of learning how to use the ring, and Kilowog was mentoring him and all that kind of stuff, and he was just talking about, you know, the what the ring represents and what it can do and this, that, the other. That to me was cool. Everything else just, yeah. Blake Lively as Carol Ferris, no. What's his face as Hector Hammond, no.
They're married in real life, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But again,
that's probably how she got the role.
I wouldn't have picked Ryan Reynolds to begin with because he's too goofy.
I mean, I would have, if he had the acting chops for it, I would have picked him. But no, he doesn't. Because he can pull off a Hal Jordan visually. But you're right. He's too. Again, he's more of a Deadpool.
Yeah, and again, you're only going to associate him with Deadpool.
Oh yeah, of course.
From now on and forever.
Which means they're probably going to go, or not. They're most likely, 99% sure they're going to go with this guy as the next Green Lantern, John Stewart, the black one. Because he's the most recognizable. Because everyone saw Justice League when they were kids, and I would have personally wanted Kyle Rayner, but that's just me.
And I mean, if you're going with John Stewart, Idris Elba.
I think he has a contract with Marvel though.
Oh, that's
because
right. I keep forgetting.
He plays Heimdall.
Heimdall.
Yeah, he keeps playing Heimdall. So I'm like, oh man, we need him.
That was
the same. Good. It's the same reason why I wanted Jamie Alexander to play Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
but she can't. Yep. Same reason. She has a contract. She's Sif, which Sif is Wonder Woman. Let's be real. But whatever. We talked about that last time.
But yeah, again, I couldn't even give it fair. You summed it up pretty well because I didn't finish watching the movie. I don't know what it was. I just could not bring myself to finish it.
I tried my hardest to like it, and I ran out of reasons and effort. So yeah, Green Lantern is definitely up there for me as a bad one. I wanted to like it, couldn't. Tried, couldn't. But
all right, so
there's another movie I was forgetting coming out this year: X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, so
we got five superhero movies coming out this year.
Superhero movies coming out this year.
We got Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Doctor Strange, Civil War, and X-Men Apocalypse. This is gonna be a good year.
All right, so let me ask you this real quick. Before we get, we'll do honorable mentions of the best and worst comic book movies, and then we'll get to our favorite comic book movies of all time. But before we do, let me pose the question right now: out of Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman, Civil War, X-Men Apocalypse, and Doctor Strange, what is taking home the gold? Top spot.
Oh man,
an unbiased
of what's gonna do the best this year besides Deadpool. Because we had 6. What am I saying? We had 6 movies.
6 movies.
6 superhero movies coming out this year besides Deadpool, not counting Deadpool. Because the other movies will be more accessible than Deadpool was.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I said, it's like whenever Disney gets nominated for Best Picture, you know, they're gonna win it, or Pixar's gonna win it, and the company or the franchise that's gonna win it and has won it every single year has been Marvel. I gotta give it to Civil War. Civil War is gonna take it. I don't want them to take it because DC deserves some flipping a shot, but
I really feel that Suicide Squad might hold up.
No, against Civil War, come on.
Because
there's too much build-up.
Because of course, Civil War. I mean, you have them coming out at 2 separate.
Are you talking about which is going to do better in the box office, or which is going to be received better?
Well, received better, but
by the fans. Or?
Yeah, I'm saying I'm going with Civil War 2 as my number 1 pick, but I really feel like Suicide Squad is going to come in a hard second because of Harley Quinn. The first time we're getting an on-screen Harley Quinn, and the next big screen adaptation of the Joker.
That is true. You're really right about that.
So
that is very true.
Not to mention Batman's going to be in the movie again.
Yep.
So again, people are gonna, and they're doing amazing with the trailers. The trailers for Suicide Squad are amazing.
Oh yeah, especially the second one with Bohemian Rhapsody in it. That to me should have been the first trailer. That should have been the only trailer. That to me, I don't even consider the first trailer now. To me, it's only about that second trailer. Because it was just done that well, and that to me captured the whole essence of the Suicide Squad, which is so like twistedly like you hate that you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Which is interesting because they're targeting a PG-13 rating.
Yeah,
and
which
is weird.
Have you read Suicide Squad?
I've read some here and there. I haven't kept up with it,
it's,
but it's dark.
It's pretty dark. Yeah, it gets pretty real at times. Just like a little snippet from at least from the New 52 Suicide Squad. There was a part where the mission that they're going on, first mission that they're going on. First of all, to even be put on this team, they had to submit or they had to go through like this horrendous torture sequence. And you see it in the, I mean, there's nothing graphic, like, but everyone's getting tortured in like their own specific way. And the first person to crack is like this guy, and he just sort of gets dragged off. And then Amanda Waller walks out and says, "Okay, cool, you passed. You're on the team." And Deadshot's like, "What the hell? Like, you had us go through all this just as an audition? Like, what the heck is this?" And she was like, "Shut up! I'll blow your head off. Shut up right now. Don't you question me."
That's how I talk to my younger siblings.
I'll blow your head off right now, legit. And then literally they drop him off into a football stadium and says, "Hey, you know, the target has this disease, blah 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 blah." And then Deadshot's like, "Okay, who's the target?" And she's like, "Not who, or rather, it's not one person, it's the whole stadium. 60,000 people. You have 3 hours. Good luck." Done.
Cliffhanger. We're not going to tell you what happens next.
I kind of want to tell them what happens next, but I'll tell you what happens next. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
tell me what happens next, but don't tell them what.
All right, I'll tell you
them to go out and
go read it. It's
Go
pretty
read
good. New 52 Suicide Squad. Pretty darn good. Go read it. Pretty darn good. Go read
but
it.
yeah, I'm going with Civil War also
Mm-hmm.
because the theme this year in comic book movies is, well, at least for Batman Superman, is, you know, heroes going at it.
Yeah, internal conflict.
And even Daredevil and Punisher, you have them going at it.
True.
The
X-Men are at odds.
X-Men. So yeah, it's a big theme. But yeah, if I had to give it to one, I'd definitely give it to Civil War because of the build-up. So, and again, they have a really good execution of their movies.
Oh yeah.
Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions, okay.
Honorable mentions and dishonorable mentions. First of all, keep your favorite comic book movie in your head.
All right,
Don't say it. Now, give me some picks that you'd put in your honorable mentions. So, what are some movies that were great but didn't make the cut?
Honorable mentions to me would be Batman, 1989.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, pretty darn good.
Fantastic movie.
A lot of good lines. A lot of good moments. Like, again, for its time,
Yeah.
it was okay. But it's a classic. You know, you gotta give the classics their due. You know, there's so many good lines that Nicholson gave and all that kind of stuff.
Kim Basinger was Vicky Vale.
Oh yes, she was.
Kim Basinger.
Is it Basinger or Basinger? Whatever. You know who we're talking about?
Yeah,
the hot blonde.
The hot blonde.
Yeah. Who the only person who could ask a hot blonde how much she weighs is Batman, which is a pretty funny scene in that movie.
So Batman, 1989.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Do you have any other honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions. I almost forgot about this one. Watchmen.
Watchmen.
I really enjoyed Watchmen just because I read the book, and it's one of those comic book movies that sticks so close to the book that it's scary.
Yeah.
Literally, the only element of the Watchmen comics that they didn't put in the movie was like that
Squid.
No. Well, that too, but also the that story that the little kid was reading about the guy like on Lost at Sea, which was irrelevant. You didn't need it. But
yeah,
other than that,
they did come out with a short.
Yeah,
that came with the Blu-ray or the movie. When you
ironically enough, Zack Snyder directed that one.
Now, that one was, to me, it was a fan service more than
exactly. That's why I wasn't like, oh, okay, it was a really good comic book movie.
Yeah, you had to have really appreciated the story and read it to appreciate the movie itself. If you had no idea what it was about and you went in, you would
be so lost. Yeah, so lost. But and I will say for a third pick for honorable mention, coming out of left field here, which a lot of people don't really remember or know that this was a comic book, Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That was an awesome, amazing movie because you got what you were expecting. You know, you're watching a video game occurring in real life. It was just so much humor, and it was just so just wild and crazy. And when I first saw it, I had no idea what it was. Like some friends I knew a while back, hey, let's go see this movie. It's about this guy who fights this girl's evil exes. I'm like, cool, I'm in for whatever reason. I don't even remember agreeing to see it. I just remember seeing it in the theater. And as you guys know, I'm a big fighting game guy. That first part when he fights the first evil ex and the guy just is like, oh, fight! And then the letters pop up. I'm like, this is so much fun. I want to see the rest of this movie. But
which Chris Evans is in that also.
Yes, he was.
So it all comes together.
It all comes together. Full circle.
Scott Pilgrim.
He was punching Michael Cera in the face, and now he's going to be punching Robert Downey Jr. in the face.
He's got Scott Pilgrim, Watchmen, and 1989 Batman.
Yep.
Dishonorable mentions.
Oh man, there's only so many bad ones you can go over. Wasn't a big fan. I don't want to call it a guilty pleasure movie because I wouldn't see it more than once over the span of a couple months. Was the first Punisher? With
You didn't like that one?
It's not that I didn't like it. It's just like
I thought it was alright.
it was okay. It was for what it was. It kind of appealed to the I'm gonna get vengeance side. Oh wait, speaking of vengeance, scratch that one. Ghost Rider.
Now you're talking about the first one or the second one?
The first one. Either. I didn't see the second one, but the first one. Why is the question I was asking. Why did you have to make this movie? I'm not even bashing Nicolas Cage on this. It's just the movie as a whole. Why did you have to, you know?
I'm gonna agree with you on that one.
You got the dude from Hunger Games playing the bad guy. You got you got Nicolas Cage. And that speaks for itself.
Yeah. I mean, again, I love Nicolas Cage. I think he's hilarious. But when you cast him in a movie and expect him to be like a gritty,
serious character,
character, it just
falls off. He falls off.
Yeah. But I love Nicolas Cage. I think he's hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's funny.
He's some of the best lines
when
in
he
movie
wants
history.
to be. He's funny. Yeah. But yeah, Ghost Rider would be a dishonorable mention. I'm not even gonna toss Punisher in there. That one was just kind of me.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the second one was awful. That second one they did.
Oh yeah, like the Warzone or something like that. Yeah,
I didn't.
I heard
see
it was. Yeah, I heard it was garbage. Can I say Spider-Man 2 as a dishonorable mention?
You can.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna say Spider-Man 2 for a couple reasons. One, get over it. Get over it. Get over it. She's not into you.
And stop crying.
Stop crying, for the love of God. You're freaking Spider-Man. One, you can pull any woman in the whole world. Two, that stuff is embedded in your DNA. I'm pretty sure just because you're having a panty attack doesn't mean that you suddenly can't stick to walls anymore. Oh, my mood ring changed color. I can't shoot webs anymore. I'm just going to quit being Spider-Man because my girlfriend doesn't like me. Like, you're literally not, in the movie, you're literally not in high school anymore, so get over it. Get the heck over it. Secondly, what kind of a punk bad guy in the end, not only that, but in the end of the movie, I'm talking, this guy was going ham. I'm talking about Dr. Octopus.
Oh, okay.
Going ham in this movie. Killing people left and right. And all of a sudden he's like, you're Peter Parker? My bad. I will not die a monster. My bro, you're a monster. At least as bad as, I'll be honest. As bad as the first one was, at least Norman Osborn went out with some balls. You know?
Not to mention, I liked Willem Dafoe as a villain. Because he's just generally a creepy looking dude.
Oh yeah, he's scary.
I didn't love any of them, but he was a pretty sinister looking kind of dude.
He got the job done. Yeah. But it's like, at least he went out with some guys. Not only that, he went out trying to kill this guy. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm watching it, I'm like, really? Really? You're just gonna punk out? Oh, snap. Okay, cool, you died, but hey, you went out swinging.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, I'm sorry. I kill people with my robot arms because for some reason there's an AI in them that I can't control. Like, what the heck is that? When have you ever seen that? When have you ever seen that? Anyways, I get really emotional about that movie.
All right, so I think for me, my dishonorable mentions will actually be every Spider-Man movie ever made.
For those of you who don't know, Pete is the Spider-Man guy.
But it's
he loves Spider-Man to death.
There were tiny things from each of the movies that I liked, but nothing enough to make me love them.
Same here. Like individual shots or lines or scenes that were just cool, but as a whole, none of them really were up to snuff.
I mean, really, the only scene that I really genuinely enjoyed from any Spider-Man movie was actually the ending of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, when Gwen Stacy dies.
Yeah, and that was pretty savage.
It was savage.
That was pretty savage.
And again, it's to me, Spider-Man is a very tragic character.
Mm-hmm.
He's responsible for the death of everyone who's close to him.
Pretty much.
But he still continues to be the hero.
Mm-hmm. Which I've always respected about his character.
So Spider-Man to me, again, you could say he's easily one of the most well-known characters around the world.
Yeah.
Right next to Batman,
and Superman and all the other guys.
Is Spider-Man,
Yeah.
I think next to Batman, he's had the most superhero movies.
Yeah.
So.
Well, wait. Has he?
Well, not the most, but next to Batman being the first, and then
Because this guy has 6 Superman.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
He's got
about
4.
Superman.
He's got the first 4, and then he's got Returns and Man of Steel. Spider-Man has
Batman
5. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, he has a lot.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But anyways.
But again, I love the character of Spider-Man, and to me he hasn't been done justice yet on screen. Hopefully with Civil War.
Hopefully.
I never really heard of Tom Holland.
Nope, but that may not be a bad thing.
Yeah,
May not be a bad thing.
I prefer it that way.
No-name actors are usually a safer bet.
Do I like the look that he has for Spider-Man? Not really, if I'm being honest.
Like for Peter Parker?
Yeah. He looks, but again, I have an open mind. I'm a very open-minded person. So.
I normally don't pass judgment on movies like that until I see it. So
yeah.
It's like I'm willing to give it the time of day and decide for myself.
Yeah,
but
I'll do the same. But for me, that all the Spider-Man movies.
All right.
I think, and I think a lot of people disagree with me, but the Blade movies as well.
I've never seen the Blade movies. Actually.
You don't have to. The Blade movies were nothing great, especially the last one. And
which Ryan Reynolds was in.
If I had to throw one more in there.
You can give your honorable mentions though. We'll finish this one up.
Yeah. If I had to throw another one in there, I would probably put. Let me think for a second. I would probably put. Now, again, this movie for me, I did enjoy it, believe it or not. I know you hated it. But for me, unlike many, many people that I've met, I enjoyed it, but I know it wasn't good.
Okay.
Which was Iron Man 3.
Oh, jeez.
I for some reason, I do find the movie very entertaining on its own. It could have been done way better, obviously. But everyone just hates it. So
I don't hate it. I just don't love it. Like it was just like a lot of times I was like, okay, really?
Again, for me, I mainly watched this movie for Robert Downey Jr. because he's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
The chemistry he had with the kid, I forget his name as an actor, but he's a really good actor as a kid. The chemistry he had with the kid in the movie was fantastic to me because it was hilarious. Didn't like the villain at all, obviously. The action sequences were okay.
Yeah,
but
they were what they were.
Yeah. So.
But hey. Gwyneth Paltrow's midriff, though.
Yo.
Was on point.
All right, so I think for my honorable mentions, I'll go with, again, I'll take your pick for 1989 Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy that one a lot.
Pretty good.
Another honorable mention for me would be the first Thor. I love Thor as a character.
It's just you're a Thor fan.
He's my favorite Avenger because he gets to swing that hammer, but.
Whoever can guess my favorite Avenger, next episode will receive a shout out and my respect for the next 48 hours. After that video comes out.
Yeah, we'll probably forget about that.
Yeah, no, I won't forget.
Okay, I will. But.
We'll see who can guess my favorite Avenger.
What did I just say?
You said the first Thor.
First Thor. Man, there's. I don't want to dip too much in the Marvel pool. But I really do enjoy all those Guardians. Again, was a really good.
I've learned some stuff recently about Guardians that I'll talk to you about later, but
But yeah, I loved Guardians just because I love Chris Pratt a lot.
Yeah.
I was happy to see him get a lead. So yeah, I mean, in general, I have a very open mind. So I don't really hate anything unless I say I really hate it. But let's go with your number one pick, your number one superhero movie. Comic book movie, whatever you want to call it, of all time.
My favorite comic movie of all time, which if you saw the last few episodes, you can take a guess. Oh yeah, I'm sure you already know what it is.
Yeah, I know what it is.
It's freaking Man of Steel. All right, sue me. I like Superman. Sorry, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was done really, really well. Okay, yeah, Zack Snyder would have been my first choice as a director. I know we kind of bashed him in the last episode, but I thought it was done really, really well for what it was. Okay? Lex Luthor is not the bad guy. Big deal. They didn't use kryptonite. Big deal. Which I liked, I thought that was cool. But anyways, Henry Cavill, awesome Superman. He's probably the Superman of this generation. Zod, perfect choice for a villain. He's my favorite Superman villain, so I was really happy to see him. I love that it wasn't just an action movie. I loved that it dealt almost exclusively on who Superman is as a character, who he is as a person, what he struggles with, emotionally and morally. Because it's never been about. I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm sick to death of defending Superman. That's why I'm never too quick to reveal who my favorite superhero is, just for that reason.
Well, I mean,
because everyone goes at it with, you only like Superman sucks. He's overpowered. He never loses. He never dies. Which I'm probably gonna do a whole episode just on overpowered superheroes because that's something I'm really passionate about. But I'll deal with that later.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but I was gonna say I had honestly thought the same thing when you had told me a while ago. But you had explained to me in great depth why he was your favorite superhero, and I got it. Like, I understood it completely. I didn't bash you for it. But when you sat, I think we were in the car once, you sat and you explained to me why he was your favorite superhero. I was like, that's a good explanation as to why. And it makes 100% sense. So, and again, my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. So
yeah, which again, I like how I get all the crap for liking Superman when Spider-Man's just as popular. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's just as overpowered. Which again, I'm getting heated, and I don't want to get into this, but I'll get into this later.
I think we could do a separate video.
We'll do a separate video on overpowered superheroes. This will
probably be the podcast for next week.
Yes. So yeah, podcast for next week. Overpowered superheroes. I'm gonna get hella into it.
Gonna get physical.
And I'm gonna bring books and legit references and stuff like that, so y'all can check this out for yourselves. But I'm gonna go ahead and quit while I'm ahead, so I don't get all pissed off.
So Man of Steel. We'll dig more into.
We'll dig more into the
movie itself next week. But right now, I want two things from you.
Okay.
I want your $1 million scene.
For Man of Steel?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I want your $1 million. And for me, I like Superman. I don't love Superman, and I was not crazy about Man of Steel, but I do have $1 million. I have $1 million scene for every movie, but for me, it would be the first time he flies.
Oh, he first takes off,
and he goes into space, and he's in. That to me was $1 million scene.
Yeah.
What's your $1 million scene?
My million. Oh man, there's so many good ones. My $1 million scene. Believe it or not, if I had to pick one, I would say the entire sequence in Smallville. From Zod going up to his house and threatening his mom.
Okay.
To, the subsequent fight between him and Feora and not Non, but Namek. When those two guys fight, that to me was an awesomely shot scene. All the way up until that's when the government realizes, hey, this man's not our enemy. That whole from as soon as Zod shows up to the farm to, the general saying that, or the colonel, whatever, was saying that. That to me had to be the $1 million scene in that movie. Within that, I think when Zod has his mom up, and he just comes in and just tackles him.
Oh my god!
And he's just beating the crap out of him in the cornfield.
Even if I wasn't Superman, I would have the same abilities if someone did that to my mother.
Yeah.
I would literally do the same thing.
And what he says to him is crazy. With each hit, he's like, "You think you can threaten my mother?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" This dude's not playing. This isn't the hey, let's talk this out, Superman. This is a no. You done crossed the line by doing this.
Yeah, I don't think it would be fair before Batman Superman comes out. I think it would be fair to watch it again and give a review for it.
A review for Man of Steel?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna take the helm on that one.
So I say we watch it together. We take notes and we.
Sounds good to me.
We give a review for the hype because right now it's Batman Superman month.
Yeah.
Other than legit. Daredevil, which I'm extremely.
Yeah, but that's not on the same scale. So
it's not. But again, I'm not trying to leave out Daredevil because Daredevil's awesome.
No, yeah, of course.
This is Batman Superman month, so we're gonna bring you as much Batman Superman stuff as we can, including the big review.
Of the movie, once we see the movie, yes. We're going to even have, hopefully, shoot some fights in Injustice.
Oh, it's going down.
Maybe.
It's going down.
Batman, Superman fights?
It's going down.
All right. We'll make it happen. But yeah, Man of Steel, like I said, we'll get into that a whole lot this month.
So your $1 million scene, that was one thing.
That was one thing. Okay.
Off the top of your head right now, don't think about it. Rate the movie 1 to 10.
Rate the movie 1 to 10? 10.
Boom!
Again, biased. That's a biased 10.
Boom!
Realistically, 9.5. Take it or leave it. I don't care. I like Superman. Deal with it.
Okay. I get with that.
All right.
So, Looking at my
All right, cool. Number one.
my
Let's
number
go.
one right now.
Number favorite comic book, superhero, whatever movie of all time.
Comic book movie of all time. The first Avengers.
Fair.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
All right.
This movie was not only years in the making.
Oh yeah.
We've been anticipating this movie since Iron Man 1.
Yep. That first scene.
To have all of these heroes come together and, ultimately work towards...
I'm not even gonna ask you, I'm gonna let you continue. I got a feeling that you and I have the same $1 million scene in that movie. But continue as to why you like it so much.
Okay. Well, again, it to me it was executed flawlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have I know it's in my pick, by the way. But you have all the heroes again coming together, and
being gangsta.
It really emphasizes again what Civil War is leading to, because they don't stand united, at first, but when they come together and they work as a team, they what is it? United we stand, divided we fall.
Yep.
So,
which, side note, that whole chanting in the trailer, Civil War was cool. Like, divided.
That gave me goosebumps.
I'm like, oh, somebody gonna die.
But again, the last 30 minutes of that movie.
Oh, the whole battle sequence in New York.
The fight for New York.
Yeah.
Was incredible. You had Iron Man zipping around. You had your boy Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Going crazy.
Which again, I'm a little butthurt. Because they didn't do him justice.
They did him some serious justice in Age of Ultron.
Oh yeah. He was definitely redeemed in Age of Ultron. Good work. Good work to them for that one.
And then you that whole, and you never got tired of it.
You
never.
And
said,
you can go back and watch it right now and be like, yeah, let's go.
You never said, when is this gonna end? You were like, I never want this to end. So
you have the opposite reaction.
Watching it, and then, as in classic Marvel tradition, you get that after scenes credit. That credits,
after the post credit scene,
and it's Thanos teasing
the reveal
Infinity Gauntlet.
And teasing the next 10-15 years of Marvel movies that are going to be coming out.
I'll never forget the general reaction to that scene. The theater almost blew up.
It was so much screaming. Just nonstop screaming.
It almost blew.
He just has that smirk.
I was like, oh my god.
What's crazier too is why he smirks. Because you remember what the guy says to him?
He's
like the humans. He's like, they can't be beaten or something. Like the humans, their resolve can't be overcome. Like to challenge them is to court death. Yeah. And he just turns around and smiles like, we gonna see.
So,
but
and again, they did the first phase of Marvel movies, and it had that huge build up to the Avengers.
Oh yeah.
In the Avengers, you get the Thanos tease, which is now even a bigger build up to the Infinity War coming out, which is in 2 parts.
Mm-hmm.
So the hype.
But there's so many movies coming out between. There's so many movies that have already come out between them that it's beyond real, the hype.
So you look at you get an Avengers movie at the end of every phase,
essentially.
And look at how hyped we are for Civil War, and that's not
an Avengers movie. Yeah, it just has all the Avengers. Technically, it's a Captain America movie.
Yeah. So,
but
again, flawless to me. It was. I mean, of course, I had my gripes. I really didn't like Captain America's suit.
Me neither. But again, Avengers. that's overlookable.
I let it slide.
Yeah.
But again, to me, it wasn't absolutely flawless. I would give it a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
If I had to pick. And my $1 million scene would definitely be the Iron Man Thor fight scene in the woods.
That is not what I would have picked. I'm surprised. Is this your Thor bias talking, or is you just like the way it was done?
I thought it was awesome. And when he electrocutes Iron Man,
he's like, oh yeah, power levels at 400%. It's like,
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna change my mind later, but for now, that's what I can think of.
All right, my $1 million scene in that movie, easily, and just because it appeals to the part of me that loves details, and the part of me that loves comic accuracy in the little things, was that shot with the music, that circle shot when they're all together, and everyone's like all screaming and all this and that, and then right after that when Cap's just giving orders, he's like, Iron Man, you got the perimeter, this and that. Thor, you got to bottleneck that portal. Hawkeye, I want you on that building. I'm like, oh, this is how it should be. This is what it needs to be, and it was perfect. Everything was done magnificently. And it just got you hyped because that's when, because they're all more or less together in the movie, but this is the first time you see them together as
a unit,
as a team, like as a superhero team. Like, hey, let's get together and let's do it instead of okay, we're just gonna talk about why we hate each other and this, that, and the other. But it was so awesome. It was just too cool, and like the fanboy in me just got all giddy.
Yeah, again, my top pick, just because everything could have went wrong, but it came out being...
Oh yeah, they could have, and we talked about that too before it came out. It was like,
yeah,
it's either going to be really, really, really good, or it's going to just tank completely.
I remember you texted me, or I don't know who texted who first, but we saw it separately, and I remember you texted me as soon as you're done watching it. All you said was "dude." And I was like, yeah,
like dude,
I
and
know,
then, bruh.
Yeah, but our top and our best and worst comic book movies of all time. Definitely gonna dive into what was it? Overpowered Heroes.
Overpowered Heroes next week. Yeah. And not in a physical, in a physical way, but more in like a what culture has made them way. But
then I have a perfect.
Yeah, we'll like I said, we'll get into that. That one's gonna be a little heavier.
Yeah, that one will be heavier.
Gonna be very heated, at least on my end.
No, I'm gonna be heated.
There's a lot of stuff I'm pissed off about.
I'm not gonna be heated against you, but with you.
Yeah, in certain aspects, but.
So if let us know what your best and worst are.
Yeah, if there's anything you want us to talk about, any subjects you want us to cover, anything you're excited about, shoot it down in the comments.
Don't forget to like this video.
For the love of God.
If you liked it, and if you didn't like it...
Like it anyway.
Like it anyway.
Because that's the nice thing to do. We're going to assume that you're nice people.
And don't forget, if you listen to this entire thing, and that means you enjoy us.
Yes. Tell your friends.
Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe.
And share.
Please
on any social media. Like literally any social media.
So I think that wraps it up here.
Yeah, pretty much wraps it up.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Scotty.
And
Content Eventually
podcast signing off.
Cool. Alright guys, be good to each other.
Sitting drunk on a wagon to Mexico. Oh, what a chunk, man, my head.